President Trump reacted to the poisoning of the former Russian spy today during a meeting with the Irish president. The president left no doubt about it. The administration stands behind the United Kingdom and agrees with its allies' assessment.
What are you going to do about, do you think Putin was behind this, Mr. President?
It looks like it. I spoke with the Prime Minister, and we are in deep discussions. A very sad situation. It certainly looks like the Russians were behind it. Something that should never, ever happen. And we're taking it very seriously, as I think are many others.
Meanwhile, the administration took a major step today and sanctioned individuals and organizations believed to be involved in the alleged Russian hacking of the 2016 election. The sanctions target the same list of 19 Russian citizens and 5 organizations included in an indictment by Robert Mueller as part of the investigation. The sanctions freeze assets, ban travel to the United States, and bar American companies from doing business with the listed individuals. For more on this, we turn to Professor Daniel Kovalik, who is an international human rights professor at the University of Pittsburgh. Professor, nice to have you on with us tonight. You know, the mainstream media is not pointing out that President Trump has been taking all kinds of heat for not being tough on Russia. This gives him the perfect political opening to push the sanctions and then not take the blame for it. I mean, jumping on board, your thoughts on that? Jumping on board with Germany and France and the United Kingdom on this. What about it? There's a political play here.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. In fact, I mean, the sad part of all this Russiagate nonsense is that it has pushed Trump into taking a more aggressive stance towards Russia. And you mentioned Nikki Haley's very provocative statements about Russia today. So definitely, the Trump administration feels the pressure now to be tougher on Russia at a time when, frankly, it might be better for all parties to at least take a breath and try to find a way, a constructive way to deal with our differences with them.
Why is it hard to convince the international community that, you know, the theme of this right now seems to be not verification, but vilification, and a selected target, Russia, right off the bat because it was a chemical that was used that is easily found, as you heard our last guest said, on the internet? That it could easily have been concocted by terrorists, yet that discussion isn't even there. Your thoughts on that?
Yes, well, as Mark had said, Russia seems to be now blamed for everything. I think this has a lot to do with geopolitical concerns more than real concerns about chemical weapons. I think the West is afraid of an independent and strong Russia, and this is what this is about, as you said. And in fact, there was a very good op-ed in the Irish Times yesterday that explained that Russia has no motive to do this sort of attack in England because what we see are the results, sanctions and possible boycotting of the World Cup and possibly worse. Meanwhile, the individual who was targeted was a double agent. He probably has enemies on both sides, Britain and Russia. Moreover, Russia had about 8 years to go after this guy. Why are they going after him now? And finally, he was in UK because of a prisoner swap between Russia and the UK.
Isn't that unusual to go after? Isn't that unusual to go after somebody who's already been part of a prisoner swap? I mean, if Russia did it, why didn't they take him out years ago?
Well, that's right. He was only sentenced to 8 years in prison for pretty serious crimes in Russia, you know, giving the names and identities of Russian agents throughout the world, some of whom might have been killed. He was only given 18 years in prison. They could have sentenced him to life, could have sentenced him to death, and yet they gave him 18 years and then swapped him out to the UK. It makes no sense that they would wait for him to get to the UK to do this.
Yeah.
Moreover, Russia has never killed someone in a swap, because no one will ever swap with them again, which stands to reason.
Professor Daniel Kovalik, good to have you with us tonight from the University of Pittsburgh. Thank you so much.